clearing the arms. If he's got good frames, right? Frames are painful and they're difficult to deal with because frames are painful and they're difficult to deal with because he needs them to create leverage and move around like we were just doing in our warm-up drill. And then also it's painful because, you know, especially like somebody like Jose, he's got really, really strong arms. So there's bones super prominent in his forearm. Makes it very uncomfortable on the Adam's apple, right? So you don't get choked. So one of the things that I like to do, especially if they're choking me with this arm by pressing into me, it's painful. I'm not gonna lie to you and say that it's not, but you can get rid of it by pushing back into them and then putting your hand on the back of your head. So if Jose starts pushing into my neck, I'll actually push back down into it, and then it's not comfortable for him. And I'll grab the back of my head. It's still uncomfortable, but I'm collapsing his elbow to the point to where he can't get any leverage on it. Okay? So I'll come here, boom, and then if this frame's in, I like making circles with my legs. Old school Gracie Jiu-Jitsu, like if you look at Grandmaster Elio's book, he's like, you know, grab the sleeve, rip the sleeve, shoot the hips through, and you know, that was great back in the day when nobody knew what the hell they were doing. But the reality is you know, Jose's a very athletic guy. If he doesn't want me to pick his arm up, don't let me pick your arm up. It's not gonna happen. Alright, I got a like 300-pound upright row, and I can't move his arm off the mat. Okay, so trying to go strength on strength is kind of pointless. So I want to use something that redirects. What I like to do is I'll take my leg that's adjacent to the same arm, and so like if I'm here, I'll bring this leg down, I'll trace it up my other leg, and I'll use my leg to move his arm out of the way. Then we can start walking his frame up into our hip. So now we've got him kind of trapped right here. Any questions on clearing the frames? So again, he's got frames, he's kind of choking me, like, I don't like this. Hand on the back of my head. Good again?
Good.
There's a reason I want you guys to pay a lot of attention to this.
I need to see what you did with your leg on the back to get up under the arm.
Okay. So when he's got his frame in, I just take this leg, I straighten it out, I bring my knee in, I trace my own leg up under his arm, and then I just kind of spread my legs back out.
I got you.
Good, good? All right, 1, 2, 3. You know, hopefully gotten this arm out of the way. I do want you guys to start off with the frames inside just so you can practice clearing. Oh, I had 3 groups ask me the same question. What do you do if they just keep their arms like super up on their body like this, right? Because, I mean, if you look, his arm is nowhere near able for my leg to pull it in. Ignore it. There's nothing they can do with this arm. They can't press away, especially if you like flatten your gut out on their arm. So what I do when people collapse to the point to where I can't get their arm away from them like this, like it's physically impossible unless you're just that much physically superior to your opponent, pull your arm out from under their head and go 2-on-1. There's nothing they can do to stop you from using both arms to attack one. All right? They will have to extend this arm in some manner to keep me from attacking here. Now I'm going to go for something else. We just transition. All right, but anyway, so we got our frames in here, right? Now we're going to talk about a lat rip, right? Because this arm can be pretty strong. So I want you guys. Oh, you okay? Yeah. Sorry, no. What I want you guys to do is we're going to gable grip right behind the shoulder, and I love doing this because it fatigues the crap out of people because you're basically making their strength irrelevant. And I'm going to take my bottom knee and I'm going to set it right on their pelvis. You don't have to go over to mount, and even if they have their leg up blocking, you're still going to be able to catch the peak of their pelvis with your knee. And from here, I'm going to lift my shoulder up, 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 and stretch him out. Then we can step over from here. What I love about this one is I can transition to a tricep grip, post, and drop over. Scoot back a little bit, hand flat on the mat, windshield wiper across the hip line, and we've got our head and arm choke. Here, right? Okay. Hands together, knee, We lift, and if they're really holding tight, man, it kills people's energy. Lift, over. My arm that's under his head grabs inside the armpit. We can post to the other side. My foot, windshield wipers across the hip line. We set down. If you need to put your hands together, you can. Most of the time, if you do it right, you won't need to.
Somebody needs to feel the visa for.
Alright, any questions on that one? Alright, 1, 2, 3. And I stole this, I didn't steal it, I learned it from John Henson at the Academy of Pensacola. Great school. If you ever find your, I know most of the Kentuckians preferred vacation spot is Florida. So if you ever happen to find yourself in Pensacola, Florida, please swing by the Academy of Pensacola. It's the name of the gym. John Henson School. It's a great spot. I got several really good friends that train there, and they will absolutely welcome you with open arms. It's an awesome environment. But anyway, so we cleared the arm, and we're here, right? So something I like that John does is he'll reach inside and he'll grab the forearm or the gi, right? And he'll pin it down. Then from here, John will go for the traditional key lock, right? And I really like the movement that he does here. So like, if you're dealing with kind of a stronger person or somebody who's lifting their arm up and down, he'll reach underneath and reverse grip their wrist. Okay?
Yeah, my man.
And John will actually reach back through underneath the head. He'll make a fist and he'll punch that fist into the armpit. So then we just start straightening our arms out, and they tap really quickly for the most part because it's like a semi-neck crank and shoulder lock. So again, we're here. I'm defending. Grab the forearm, pin, reach over, grab. So I've got 2 on 1. I will swing this hand underneath, grab. This arm goes back underneath the head. You make a fist, armpit, slowly straighten your arms out. Yes, it is legal.
So it's like a regular Kimura, but you're
It's a Kimura from hell. Yeah, it's a Kimura from hell, man.
Yeah.
Like, if you got tight shoulders.
You like feel?
With that being said, guys, if you have tight shoulders, please let your buddies know while you're drilling not to do this fast at all. Not even a little bit fast. Okay? All right, 1, 2, 3.